Okay, this is the lesson video for Math Models Unit 9, Lesson 4. This this unit takes a hard right turn, and the next kind of big section is about trigonometric ratios. So trigonometric ratios is a kind of branch of math that deals with um, right triangles and the relationships between the different sides and different angles of a right triangle. And so there are kind of three um, main um, relationships that we look at, and they are the sine, the cosine, and the tangent. I'm going to put up a formula sheet that has a visual aid to help you with this. But in general, when we look at a triangle, scroll up here. Yeah. When we look at a triangle, we have a right angle here, and we have the longest side here. And the other angles and other sides kind of have their place in this conversation or in this idea. So the longest side we know is what we call the hypotenuse. You've probably heard that term before, usually represented by an H. The shortest side is going to be one of two legs, but it all depends on what angle you're looking at. If we're looking at this angle and we go across the triangle, then we would call this side the opposite side. And then we would call this side down here the adjacent side. And so we're going to use this terminology a lot. We're going to have hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. And we're going to be dealing with those kind of three things. So I'm going to try my best to kind of make this as easy as possible. This is something that you probably had exposure to in a geometry class. So I'm going to walk us through the vocab. You just have to do your own: sine, cosine, tangent. It just asks you what they are. Those are the three main things we're going to be dealing with: sine, cosine, and tangent. Those are the three main trigonometric relationships. Complementary, another vocab word. So the first group of questions, very easy. You just are going to use a calculator. So I want to help you understand what's asking. When it says sine 10 degrees or cosine of this stuff, you're going to go to your calculator and you're going to use the sine button. From the main screen, you have sine, cosine, and tangent. So if I wanted to do sine of 10 degrees, first thing I need to do is make sure that degree is revealed here versus radian. And I'll talk about what that is. We're in degree mode, and we're going to do sine of 10. And you're going to put this. Now it says to round to 4 decimal places. So we would take these 4.1736, and that's it for that one. Now, that's whenever there is an actual degrees in the problem. So if you see that degree marker, use degree mode. So number 7, number 8, use degree mode. For number 6, number 9, you're going to be using radian mode. So I'll show you how that one works. So going back to our calculator, let's go here. And we're going to do let's see, what was it? It was cosine of pi divided by 6. Oh, and I gotta make sure I'm down here so I get my 6 in that fraction. And I need to switch to radian mode. So you can see already my answer changed to radians, 0.8660. So just make sure when you have a pi in the answer, or it's a decimal, if there's not a degree marker, use radian mode. So we have 0.8660. So that's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9 through to the end of that section. Then it says, given 2 trig ratios, find the third without using a calculator. So this one's pretty straightforward, I think, because they're going to be giving you 2 out of the 3, and you have to find that third one. And so the easiest way to do this, and I'm just going to scroll up to make sure I'm going to kind of follow their example, make sure I'm doing this more or less the way they have you guys doing it. I don't really have an example. That's okay. I know how I would do it, so I'll do it my way. Yep. So, yep. Okay. So what this means to me, I'll just explain what this means. If I have these values right here, this means I have a triangle. Whoa, it's a bad triangle. And I know that this is, we'll call this the angle here. we know that one of the legs is 3, one of the legs is 4, and the hypotenuse is 5. And that's because I know that the sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, and I know the cosine is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. And this is why you need to have the relationships in front of you, because the tangent you need to know is the opposite over the adjacent side. So notice, we know what everything is. We know the opposite is 3, that's O. We know that the adjacent is 4. And this is all coming from this pattern that we know from these kinds of ratios. And then 5, of course, is the hypotenuse. To an H. There we go. Sorry about my messing around. I'm doing it with my trackpad. But we know then that the opposite is 3 and the adjacent is 4. So it's going to be 3 over 4. And so we can see that that's our answer right there. So what we're going to do for each of these, you're going to draw a triangle and you're going to put everything where it goes. So like in this one, 5 is going to be my opposite. 13 is going to be my hypotenuse. Tangent, that's opposite again. We already knew that was opposite. But then this means that this is the adjacent. And so then you just fill in for cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. And again, I will put a image diagram for you for those. 11, same thing. 12 is the same thing. 13, same thing. 14, same thing. 15, all those are exactly the same. Then it gets us into this issue of, now they're telling us the sine of an angle is 0.25. Find the lengths of the sides. So this one takes a little bit more work, but I want to show you basically the first step you're going to take, which is with 0.25. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to type 0.25 in here. And I'm going to, sorry about that, 0.25. And I'm going to make it a fraction. Okay, so they are telling us that 0.25 is the sine, which is also known as, in the fraction form, 1 over 4. So already I know that 1 is the opposite side and 4 is the hypotenuse. And so then that's what you're going to check, 1 and 4. Don't worry about the third side. For now, we're going to do these, and we'll talk more about it later, maybe if we need to. So that's what you're doing for each of these. You take this, 0.8, 0.8, make it a fraction. 4 and 5 are 2 of the sides. 4 and 5. And that's what you do for all of these. Make these into fractions, and then find those values here. And yeah, these are going to be more or less vocab, so just kind of look through the section for those. But you knew this. The hypotenuse is the longest side. It's across or opposite the right angle. And the right triangle is a triangle in which the largest angle is a right angle. So it has to be the largest. You can't have a right angle and another angle. So it has to be the largest angle. That's pretty much it. Hopefully that wasn't too much. It's a lot of questions, but just let me know if you need anything.